Greetings, Minasans! Welcome to episode 3 of Shumimasen, the podcast where we follow our destinies. I'm your host, guys, and with me today is Raymond. Unfortunately, today we don't have Tillich because he has massive hemorrhoid issues. We'll talk about that in the next podcast.
It's a shame, because we just introduced him in the last episode. Now he's got hemorrhoids and can't show up in this episode. What a shame!
I mean, let's be honest. It's a thing with gamers, right? We sit so much that it's kind of like it's going to happen. Wait, Raymond, do you hear that? That voice? I think it's saying guest episode. Introducing our guest for today, Ash Paul, aka Ash, aka Mr. VA Man. So I'm going to launch us into a little bit of backstory, all right? Met Ash, oh my God, like almost 10 years ago now, during my time in the Singapore Army. And to be honest, we kind of like hit our strides quite quickly as friends. We became friends very quickly. Mutual gaming interests, mutual anime interests. And then one day, we're talking about games. One day we started talking about anime. Boom, open the floodgates, open the can of worms. And Ash is like, to be honest, probably one of my friends who's closest to kind of like the anime world, very deeply ingrained into that culture of anime, hosting expos, voice acting, and even working with some of the big names. We probably won't name drop them, but take my word for it. So Ash, welcome to the show. How are we today?
What's up, guys? I'm Ash, or as I like to call myself, Anime Gyokai Saikyo Higemen Ash desu. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
What does that mean, bro? We pretend we're Japanese in this? We're just memes.
Well, it means I am the anime industry's strongest Higemen. Because like how Ikemen is handsome guy?
Yes.
But Higemen it's like bearded guy, so...
Oh, nice.
Is that why your thing is Higesama on so many of your platforms? Right.
I just make this stuff up, man. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Welcome. You're our first proper guest onto the show.
Yeah,
number one.
I mean, I mean, we say geek culture, but really it's closer to otaku culture. So of course we have to have Ash on the show, pretty intensive into that kind of culture with us, Ash. I want to ask, actually, you're talking about that Hige thing, with the beard and stuff. Is that, when I went to Japan, I didn't really see it too much. Does that scare people? Being so, like heavily bearded kind of thing?
I feel like it less scaring, but more of freaking out because, like, not many people have very thick facial hair in Japan. Unless you're probably, like, some white American guy or, So when I just walk around casually, people will be like, hey, can I just touch your beard?
On the street.
I was in Hiroshima once in the Peace Memorial Park and just casually walking. This random old guy's like, "Hey, nice beard. Can I touch it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And he just like touches it and like, "Whoa, yeah, kimochi." I'm like, oh, "Okay."
Very interesting.
Kimochi, bro.
Like, oh, sure, man. Whatever, you do you.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy because like that's obviously like the Asian side of stuff. They don't grow facial hair that well, right?
No.
We don't. It's usually very patchy or very modest,
very sparse, and I don't think it's as thick. I mean, for you guys who don't know Ash, and that would be nearly all of you. He has a full-on beard, like it's thick. It's what's the word for it? Pantene commercial, I think is the word for it.
Thick and loud.
Thick and luscious, exactly. So just imagine that, and you compare it with your I guess stereotypical kind of Asian beard, and it's worlds apart. I am surprised that a Japanese person, asks you straight up to touch your beard, though. That's a bit strange, even for Japan.
I mean, this has happened in an anime event as well, like legit. Like, I'm not gonna drop names, but like one big anime singer who sings for like super mainstream anime.
No, really? And she asked to touch your beard?
Yeah, like she actually just like composing for like Love Live as well. Like, Love Live is like peak anime.
Yeah.
So I was doing an interview years back. She's like, "Hey, can I touch your beard? It looks really nice." And she's like, just went straight in, just grabbing all the roots. Like, wow, this is so kimochi. I'm like,
whoa,
bro,
a bit more intense than I expected.
Then you're like a petting zoo over here.
Yeah, I'm like a petting zoo, man. What the hell?
Sorry, Raymond, you go.
Does that mean, I was thinking, like, because there's obviously not as much bearded people over there, does it make that the beard care products a bit harder to find then?
You can't even
Just
find
curious.
any bearded products in Japan, man. Like I have to buy this stuff from America.
Oh, I have to ship it all the way over.
No, actually,
Yeah,
like talking about that, that's a really good point. My friend is he lives in Japan as an expat, right? So he works over there and stuff. But long story short, basically he was trying to find even normal stuff like that we have in New Zealand and Singapore, America, whatever it is, such as deodorant. And he's like, I literally can't find, you name your brand, Dove, Rexona, whatever it is. And they have some, but it's I guess weird. I think what he said was it's like not the stuff that you will get overseas is not like strong enough because I
it's
guess
weak, bro. It's so weak in Japan.
right. And so he's like he literally has to import it for like $10-$20, which for NZ rates is like quadruple the price.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's insane. Like to think a country that literally has like AI manning the streets and shit doesn't even have like deodorant. I guess you don't need deodorant when half the people are robots, right?
Oh, that's true.
Can you just imagine walking into Comic Cat with all this BO?
Oh,
So I mean, we're talking about you've mentioned expos just before. Is that something you do quite often?
Yeah, so I actually like my main gig, air quotes main gig, is doing like MC for anime events. So I've done like stuff for Anime Festival Asia, which is like air quotes the biggest anime industry event in like Southeast Asia.
Right.
I've done stuff for like GameStart, a local Singapore game event, which happened until like 2019 because they gave away for Gamescom Asia.
Right.
I did stuff in Penang as well and in Thailand as well. So yeah, I go around quite a bit.
That's pretty cool. So you MC for them. Is that because you can like is that in terms of the anime side, is that because you speak Japanese as well that opened the market up for you? Or is it more that you just made your name big in the MC kind of world?
Well, so funny story is I was actually still schooling in Japan because like in case people don't know yet, I mean probably don't know, like I actually studied in a voice acting school in Japan. And I was taking like a term course which just happened to be MCing. So I was just casually doing an MC class. And then one of my friends who works for the anime event is like, hey Ash, one of the biggest MCs, he's called Yopi-san. He does like literally every event in Japan. He had to fly back on Sunday for another event in Japan. So it's like, hey, can you come and do like B's replacement on Sunday? I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. So I had to go to the school. I had to ask my sensei, like, sensei, I had to skip MC class on Friday to MC on a big stage.
to get some real life experience.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna go and just like get like some experience on the side. So school's like, okay, yeah, sure. Send in the form. You can take like official leave of excuse to fly back home to run an anime event and go back to school.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's cool. Pretty awesome. That's actually pretty awesome. It is so. Basically, that was your start, and then you just what is it like? After you do one, your name spreads, and then you just do 2, 3, and you just do others, or.
So I just like did one and like, oh yeah, this guy's pretty good, because like the misconception like if you speak Japanese, you can do translation, you can do MCing, and you can do interpretation. So I'm like, just threw me on a big stage. Here's 2 big name VAs, which is happens. One guy happens to be like the guy who voices Natsu in like Fairy Tail.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Obviously VAs, I don't think they get enough credit. People usually don't really. I guess because you're in the industry, you would. But I mean, for example, me who has watched anime fucking half my life, I don't even remember half the VAs until I literally had to start looking into it because people don't, I guess, give as much emphasis to the VAs as they do in, let's say, a normal movie or whatever it is, with like live action kind of thing.
Right.
Which is really sad because like voice acting takes so much talent. Like a good voice actor makes or breaks the anime. And me and Ray were talking about this last week as well. Last episode as well.
I mean, it's so difficult because like I've actually done some recordings. Oh my god! Like the thing is that there's like they give you like 5 microphones in front of a screen to read out loud, and like sometimes it's just so many people in one particular scene. I had one scene where we had about 10 people, so you have to move in and out of like a few stands. And the thing is, they're all adjusted based on height.
Oh,
yeah. Normally,
okay.
yeah, and normally in a regular like recording studio, they adjust it to the tallest person. But of course, my school is nicer, and Japanese people are like not exactly as tall as like myself. So like I had one part where I had to go to the smallest mic just because there was no other mics available. So I had to lower
Lean
like
down.
half my body all the way down just to get onto the microphone, do the whole thing. Like, man, that shit is not easy.
That is impressive because that'll defeat your whole posture and stuff. It'll make it harder to get the voice stuff that you want, because it's all like the posture and stuff brings the vocals
Yeah,
a bit
and, like,
stronger.
when you compare like a mic that's adjusted to someone who's like 150 cm and I'm like 186, so
Oh my god! So
yeah.
you're like hunched over, like some kind of hunchback.
I have to like spread out my legs so long as if I'm doing like a sprint, you know.
Oh, damn.
You're like crouched over, like you're ready to like run a marathon or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like, am I running a marathon? Am I like saying lines right now?
Right. And I mean, we you know, we're talking about this whole thing. You started in Japan, you did work in Japan and stuff, but you're based in Singapore right now, yeah?
Yeah, I'm currently based in Singapore. Well, mostly because like let's just say the situation in Japan is not exactly doing very well. So going back
Right.
home is the best choice.
Well, fair enough.
So is the industry better in Singapore still than Japan right now? In terms of, the expos and stuff, or is it just dead across the world?
Oh, it's dead. It's been dead since like March 2019.
Because of COVID or
Yeah, because of COVID. Because
right.
I actually had an event for a gig in like just outside of the very famous Marina Bay Sands in Singapore, that huge giant
Yes.
shit you see in all the commercials.
Yeah, all the commercials,
Okay.
yes. Even in anime, actually, even in anime.
Exactly. Even in Conan, like Conan blew that shit up.
Did he? I only
Yeah, yeah.
remember it from The Great Pretender. I don't know if you guys seen the anime.
Yes, it's such a good show.
It was in there. Yeah, it's so much. Oh my god, we'll get onto that later. But my
Yeah.
god, it's surprisingly good, right? I mean, okay, so you're in Singapore now, and obviously the whole world's dead. So how are you? I mean, in terms of your livelihood and stuff, how are you finding gigs? Is there still things to be done in terms of like online or anything like
Oh
that?
yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Like definitely, I took a big hit, so I have to find
Yeah,
other sources
no, I
of
bet.
income, like doing
Sure.
translation, other stuff, selling my ass. No, I'm just kidding. So of course, like a lot of events, they take into going to online platforms to do online
Right.
events. But like, what your experience in doing a physical event versus an online event is so different.
Right.
Not many of them actually get how to do an online event. So
Right.
Alpha has their own thing. It's pretty interesting because like they get guests over from online, so we get like stuff like VAs and singers from like I guess we use Skype to actually chat live, and we actually doing it live. It's not easy because we had a signal cut once, and it was pretty intense.
Oh no, that'll be the problem I can see with it is as well is that if you're doing it online and stuff, I'm sure everyone's equipment is a little bit different, right? Not everyone has
Right.
like the same soundproof room or everything.
Exactly.
But so has that been a problem?
I feel like it's more like having because like when you're doing a test, there's no consumer strain on like the signals on the broadband, so like the bandwidth. Yeah. So when you actually stream it live on like a free platform like YouTube, everyone's going online. So like everyone's putting a string on the server. So we had one guest where like we had a 50-minute like cut just because there was so many people watching at the same time.
My god, did it crash? Was it like a server side thing, so like a YouTube thing, or was it on your side?
I think it was like I believe one of our PCs just straight up died.
Oh,
It was too much strain on the server. So like
we
had like a 20-minute break, and like the staff were panicking, but we were panicking because like what are we gonna say to our consumers who are watching this and like suddenly just goes cut?
Yeah. Oh,
Like as typical Japanese events, we have to bow down like 500 degrees to say we're sorry, and then continue on.
And then give like a resignation letter the next day.
Yeah, the usual.
It's pretty crazy. That's awesome to see like an insight onto like this kind of field, because obviously like this is like the kind of stuff that people I'm sure rarely see because there's not I guess not as much people talk about it, right?
Yeah, because like as a viewer, you only see what we show it to you guys. But backstage, there's so many people running around just to get one little stream with 3 people on at the same time with no issues.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, it's crazy because even in you talk about anime, you talk about streaming, you talk about anything, you see the finished product, and it's always so like, oh yeah, it's pretty cool and stuff. And then you actually look at like, for example, they do a studio tour or whatever, and you're like, oh my god, like literally like 7 cameras go into this, 45 computers, like there's like 6 people behind the cameras making sure everything. It's like massive. It's always massive, and this is like just a normal stream, like quote unquote normal stream kind of thing for us, and these gigs are crazy. And I think me and Ray, when we first started this whole venture, I guess in Shumimasen, we were looking into it, how hardcore should we go? Do we want to spend like $1,000 on equipment? Because obviously you don't want a podcast where it's like you hear like a dog barking in the back or like very unprofessional. But on the other hand, it was kind of like just a way for us to connect with our mates again, our old friends, and like talk about what we love, be anime, be games and stuff. And so I think it's really interesting to hear from the industry, like the true industry side of things, like, okay, this is I guess where the money is at, or this is how we make money in the industry. Everyone thinks, oh, anime VA, anime whatever, like maybe editors
Director
or whatever.
or
But you don't really
composer,
you don't really think like, oh, MC for events or this or that and stuff.
Like
And
from
so
my
it's
point
really
of
cool.
view, there's so many things. Like people just normally, like you said, people just normally assume it's just VA director, but like or composer. But like from what I see, it's like assistant to VA, assistant to composer, VA's manager, the guest that takes care of the people that come from Japan. Like there is so many people, and I'm just barely scratching the surface.
That's like such a huge team that needs, and there's so much, I guess, potential if you want to work in the industry that you can get into.
I think
so many like people. There's so many things you can come in from. Like you can just be a writer from a blog site, or you can just be like, I know how to take care of guests. Then you can be a guest caretaker for an event.
So and I think that's exactly, Raymond. There's so many more avenues than we ever thought. I mean, even for people, I mean, not like for people like us, but just normal dudes like me and Ray, for example, who have anime kind of as a hobby or gaming or whatever. We, like you say, you think about VA and stuff, but it could be literally as simple as this, creating a podcast and doing that. But everyone does it from a like such a critical standpoint. It's like, this is like a review channel or whatever it is. But nowadays, I feel like it could just be, let's just get together, talk shit with our VA friends, like just have a good time. And I think that builds a better community than this kind of like harsh critique world that we're so used to. You know what I mean? And that was the kind of vision that we had for Shumimasen. Like in the future, we want to get more avenues of like, Max, who will be on soon with D&D. There's massive podcasts with D&D, but we don't really hear that much in the mainstream kind of thing. So no, I think it's really interesting. On the topic of D&D gaming and stuff, Ash, what kind of genre or genre, I guess, of gaming are you really into? Because you're quite a big gaming fan.
Yeah, just a little casual gamer, just a
casual. Baby. Yeah, casual.
Very casual, super casual. Genre of games. Well, I do play everything and anything under the sun except MOBAs, because we all know that's terrible. But
yeah, have you ever played MOBAs though? Were you
ever into it? I actually got into Dota when we were in army. With the cluster guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like, everyone's playing, like Marcus, we're playing with Marcus and like the gang.
Oh my god, bro, what a throwback, Marcus and stuff. So you're playing okay, so you played Dota with the army boys. I never had picture you playing Dota. How was that? Did you enjoy that?
I absolutely hate that shit, bro. I don't know how to play MOBAs, man.
Is this like the first Dota, like on the Warcraft?
This was like the first Dota, and then I tried Dota 2, and I hate them both because I can't play for shit.
Do you think it's the learning curve thing, Ash, or do you think it's the genre that you hate?
I feel like it's a learning curve because, like, a lot of people, they grew up like, in our local schools, right, primary schools, schools. Everyone's playing Dota, everyone's playing MapleStory, everyone's playing these PC games. Like me, the filthy casual, I'm like, I'm just gonna play Final Fantasy X 500 times over.
I mean, the Final Fantasy X was a good game, so I don't blame you for it.
Yeah, it's such a good game. Yeah, it's like it's a huge gap. So I don't know how to do like MOBA. I still don't know how to do it though.
Is that your favorite Final Fantasy, Ash?
No. My favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yes, I remember.
You're a Tactics fan.
See, the only reason I asked that is because anytime, and I think you'll agree with me heavily on this. Anytime the topic of Final Fantasy / JRPGs get brought up in general, right? Like the other day I was on I think it was Facebook, and you know how there's like some gaming sites which post, what was your favorite JRPG or what was your favorite thing, and they just get kind of that organic involvement with followers. And so the question was, what was your favorite JRPG? And literally it was 0 posts. By that time my head, I was straight up like, everyone's gonna say FF7 because everyone's a pleb, right? Instantly FF7, and I'm like, I don't want to be that guy who's always having the hot takes on this, but like it's okay. It's not like the best FF ever, in my opinion. It's a great FF, but I feel like it's almost on this status that it's like JRPG equals to FF7, the best, hands down. Don't even talk about it anymore, kind of thing. Do you guys find that as well?
I mean, like I know that 7 was a very big, popular one. I'm sure it must be like a thing where like people may have heard it before, and this is the the good first one that they tried, and then maybe that's why it stuck with them.
That nostalgia kind of bias, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like like Pokemon Red and Blue.
For sure,
extreme nostalgia. But the thing is, like, I believe because like I didn't play 7 at launch because I didn't have a PS1. But at that point of time, I believe because like FF7 was like the very first 3D Final Fantasy game, so it's a big thing.
Yeah,
I guess you're right. The first one I played was actually 8, and then I went back to 7. So in my head, it probably is the nostalgia buzz. In my head, 8 was much better because I played it first, you know.
Right.
Which, to be fair, it's not. Let's be honest. FF7, I think, has a stronger story.
It is
8.
Horrible. I hate that game, man.
Just straight in there, boom! I hate that game. What? So I mean, Tactics. You know, Tactics is what, older than 7? Is it?
It actually came out in the same year. It's just that a few months after. So it's unlike you know, the usual Final Fantasies. You play extremely overpowered super soldier character.
Yeah.
You go on a journey. You defeat the evil empire at the end.
Yeah.
In FF Tactics, you play like rich young boy from like prestigious family in war, because there's two warring states.
Right.
And then it turns out there's actually evil. There's actually evil church in the background, because there's always an evil church.
Yes,
it's always the church.
Yeah. Sounds about right for Square Enix.
Yeah, except like it's that featuring Cloud from FF7, because you can actually unlock him in the final chapter.
Oh, you can.
Okay,
again with the Cloud shit, man.
Yeah, because like they had to appeal to someone, right?
I'm sorry, but I get it. I get that is probably one of the biggest selling products of their line, you know, the FF line and stuff. But it's just everywhere, you know. How many spin-offs of FF7 we have? We have the FF7 remake recently. We have the FF7 goddamn Dirge of Cerberus, which
that's my favorite shitty Final Fantasy game, man. It's such a good bad game.
It's like I get what you mean. It's really bad, but at the same time, it's like strangely satisfying to play as Vincent Valentine. Vincent Valentine, yeah. But there's
Crisis
I feel
Core with so many games.
Yeah, exactly. You see,
and now they're even making like a Battle Royale FF7 game.
You're kidding.
Oh, I did see. I saw a bit
it's
of
called The First Soldier. It's on mobile.
I think I saw a little bit of that. They had like skills and stuff, I believe.
Yes. I'm not even shitting you guys. This is actually real.
And that's what I mean. Like, it seems almost like they just, I mean, obviously they are milking it, but I don't know. I think it's like, guys, give it a rest. You know, it was a great game, but there's so many strong contenders for like not even best FF, good FF games. FF10, amazing. You know, I love, but like personally, FF9, one of my favorites. I don't know why, I just really like it. FF13, I know people who would stand strongly by it. Very strong. We know who, Ash. I mean, one of the guests in the future, perhaps. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, why do they keep milking 7? In every possible Square Enix game, 7 is milked so heavily. You talk about Kingdom Hearts, so heavily.
Cloud is there. You put him in. I don't know. Like every
Sephiroth
other game
is one of the god tier bosses. You know, it's like, bro, enough of the one winged.
Yeah, Super Smash Bros. Cloud is there. Sephiroth again.
It's everywhere. I'm sure it's one of like the companies, like the board's decision where they're like, okay, this has been so successful, like it must be like a really safe option to put it into like another game. It's like across, right?
Because like you know how the game industry is so big now. Like if you make one bad game, you could literally break an entire company.
It's kind of sad though, Ash, don't you think? So like back then, it was about kind of like innovation, like test the limits and stuff.
Everyone makes like some really shitty games, but some people make like some really good like B tier games that it's like you know, like if a bit more funding, the game would have been like the best looking thing in the universe.
Exactly. And nowadays it's like, all right, we're only going to pour in money for, I mean, we talk about this all the time. We're only going to pour in money for kind of the games that will make us a profit rather than like the games that, you know, have innovation. I mean, talking about innovation, why we always talk about old games in terms of innovation. Who remembers the first MGS Psycho Mantis? Come on, man. That was insane.
Yes.
That was
So,
insane.
I heard you like Castlevania. Guy reads your memory card, bro.
That's so crazy.
It broke the people's minds, man. Like having to swap controllers over, like the ports over and shit. And then recently, I mean, how much more impactful is, for example, relatively recently, Tokidoki Literature Club, in terms of it reading your save files, deleting your save files and shit. Basically an indie game versus something like your fucking like 69th Assassin's Creed, which has all the money.
My God,
Yes.
like, are they even assassins anymore in the recent game?
Bro, I don't even know what they are, man. They just people now that
like they went from like assassins to like a pirate to like I don't know a berserker. Or, like what's going on anymore?
They went to Egypt and they went everywhere. It was just around the world.
It's just World Atlas Assassins version kind of thing. And no, sorry, Google Maps, Google Maps, world history kind of thing. And that's what I mean. It's really sad, and we do actually talk about this all the time. That it's mainly gaming is so much about, well, firstly microtransactions and profits nowadays, and it's no more about kind of like, oh shit, all these like novel ideas.
Yeah, let's just make a really bonkers game that nobody would see coming. Like, hey, who would have expected like a game where everyone stayed at home because of a virus, and this guy just doing Uber Eats the game.
Yeah, I played it. Uber Eats Simulator, man.
I don't think like Death Stranding is anywhere near Kojima's best work. Like the guy made a game about delivery in a post-virus world just a few months before Corona, man. Like
it's the timing.
And that's the thing about Kojima. He's kind of like, you know what, fuck your trends. I'll do what I want. And that's, you got to give the guy dips. It might be a flop sometimes. But sometimes when he hits it, oh my god, he hits it. We talk about the MGS series. That alone is like god tier. Literally one of the god tier games.
We probably have enough. Like we can probably do an entire episode about that another time.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. There's just so much to talk about there.
It's so good. That he's pushing the limit, and it's so sad that the MGS basic franchise basically died because Konami was like, I'm gonna make pachinko games instead.
I mean, I know the truth, but like, it's not. If I say, I might just get like murdered by like
NDAs and shit. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll just go with the mainstream story, and that's what we know, right? That's what we know about. But to be fair, at the end of the day, it is a business decision, right? It is a money thing. It's always a money thing. And so I don't know. I find it kind of sad that gaming has headed down this way, in the sense that even many of our close friends literally only play indie games nowadays.
Yeah. I agree, because like a lot of stuff nowadays is just so good and so interesting on indie games. Like, why would I want to play the newest Call of Duty with just one new gun?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Call of Duty is from Blizzard. That's an indie developer, isn't it?
True.
Yeah, small indie developers, right? All these EA, Blizzard, they're also small, bro. Like, that's why we support them.
That's why I said they need money. They need money from the microtransactions.
Yeah, they need it, bro. We gotta support them.
As you were saying, from the indie games, it's just like nowadays, like any sort of innovation that you see, you have to like depend on the indie side just to bring it out.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
But I feel like what makes indie games great is like the thing is they don't have so much money.
So they don't. Yeah.
So like they are restricted on what they can make, and they try to make something based on all these restrictions, which is ironically what the game industry had back in, like maybe 20 years ago, when everybody's trying to make even the PS1 and the PS2.
It was about that, like breaking that kind of like, like being so different that you stood out so that people buy a game. Whereas now it's like, I don't know, people just live off their franchises, like you said, Call of Duty, goddamn FIFA. Come on, man. This, like, I get it. It's a sports game, so you update it and stuff. But
how much more innovation can you make to kick ball?
Yeah,
exactly. The EA Sports wing of EA games must bring them so much money. Like, just, I don't even know the amount, but it must bring them so much money. And why would you innovate? Like, why would you bother innovating when you can literally just do the same thing, reskin it? I mean, Far Cry 5, Far Cry whatever it is now, reskin it, boom, resell it on the market, make money.
Yeah.
Right? And I think it's kind of sad. And it goes back to the indie games. I think as well, it's not that they just don't have that much money. They kind of have nothing to lose. It's let's go all out. Super Giant Games, classic, right?
Super Giant is so good.
So good. Bastion, Transistor, Hades, just literally neck to neck with AAAs, like AAA games, and then you have the occasional hit swings with Ghost of Tsushima, for example. Massive game that came
Tsushima's
out.
great. Like I actually had zero expectations for Tsushima.
Exactly.
Like I'm like, oh, American companies making a Japanese game. This is gonna be awful.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, what's the game that they made before? They were known for one other game.
I think it was Infamous.
Infamous, yes.
Oh,
which was like a
guys.
6 out of 10 game, maybe. So yeah, the Infamous guys made that game, and they hit it, man. They smashed it. Ghost of Sushi is one of the best games. Like in terms of this current era of like let's copy pasta everything. And so it's sad to see that nowadays the indie developers are. Well, actually, no. It's really good to see that the indie developers are like taking over, and so many of us as like gamers are moving over. I can name so many indie games that are like way better than your latest Assassin's Creed, like literally. You know? What I mean?
Yeah. I agree, and I think maybe even a little bit of it is obviously with as you said before with the Ghost of Sushi, you really don't really go in with that much of expectation, right? I mean, when it really blow you away, then it's a lot more memorable. Whereas like if a big company makes something, like you kind of have like an expectation on the level of quality.
The whole hype train of
Yeah.
AAA kind of thing. Same with like Cyberpunk 77 recently. The train was it was so big. I mean, I personally I quite enjoyed playing it. It was entertaining. Was it CDPR's best work? Probably not. Let's be honest. But for a AAA game, it could be worse. It could literally be another Assassin's Creed. And so it is what it is. I mean, talking about kind of to get into that whole mainstream gaming side of things, you can't talk about gaming and streaming nowadays without talking about VTubers. They are literally everywhere. For people who don't know, VTubers are kind of like when you watch YouTube and someone's streaming a game and there's a little like anime girl on the side. That's a VTuber. Ash, are you quite experienced with the industry or?
Actually, I'm not very well versed. Like I know the VTubers. I don't know like the super niche ones, but I know like the more mainstream ones because like I had friends who were into this stuff like very early into the life cycle when it was still like Kizuna Ai or like super early mainstream stuff.
What's everyone's opinions on that on VTubers in general?
I think it's great because like it's how do I say it? It's kind of like a slightly new, fresh take on like live streaming, YouTubing, where instead of showing your face, I'll just become a cute anime waifu.
Yeah.
and I think that sorry, Raymond, you go.
It definitely opens like a lot more avenue for like more normal people to be able to show the stuff. Like maybe some people, it's like what do you say? Like for people that might have like a bit of like a, let's say, social anxiety or like public speaking issue, like allowing them to like really like be themselves while being comfortable in their own little way allows a lot more like talent or a lot more like variety of content for everyone, right?
Like let's be honest, a lot of people, like a lot of YouTubers are popular because they look good, they look handsome, and also like they have normal like standard like confidence, but like not everyone's like super good looking, super handsome,
Sure.
Like maybe you're not like so very self-confident, but like if you use this character, you can kind of be your true self. So like I think it's a very interesting like it's a niche platform that became super popular, and now like even everyone and even like mainstream YouTubers are becoming VTubers just because I don't have to wear makeup and I can stream basically.
Yeah.
It is almost kind of sad that they do it because it levels the playing field, doesn't it? You don't have to be like the hottest person now to make it VTubing or whatever. And it's sad that even in the gaming community that's a thing. Like if you're not hot, I'm not gonna follow you kind of thing. I mean, obviously I'm not speaking for everyone, but I do agree that's probably part of the reason why people watch some streamers. Good looking, hot, whatever it is.
Like if I can simp to this person, easy. But if like this guy's not cute, like I can't fap to them or something like that. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of people like this.
I mean, I got into it. Actually, I'm not into it at all. I don't really watch much VTubers, but I learned about it relatively recently. And God, it's massive. It's a huge industry, and it actually it didn't shock me per se, but I was very surprised about how big it could get in terms of the more almost like mainstream, like normie audiences. You know,
if I'm not wrong, right? Last year, like according to like YouTube, like revenue,
yeah,
2 of the top 10 like YouTubers making money were like VTubers from Japan. So like,
Really?
no
that's,
shit.
yeah, legit.
Wow.
Like one of them was like, if I'm not wrong, I believe her name was like Usada Pecora. So she's like this
Right, yes.
Yeah.
terrorist bunny from Japan. Don't know how to explain that. But that's
I know a little
that's
bit
literally,
about
I
Pecora.
don't think you have to explain it.
But yeah, I think maybe a bit of that comes from the platform that they decide to stream on, right? Because YouTube is not definitely. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's different in other countries, but over here in New Zealand, YouTube is definitely not one of the main streaming platforms that people go to. Like, it's usually like, in terms of gaming stuff, it's
Twitch?
always like the Twitch and that sort of stuff.
right.
But I do notice that like a lot of those talent agencies, they decide to use YouTube. So maybe a little bit of that plays into it.
I believe like Japan, because like they really use YouTube a lot. Like they used to have like
Mm.
Nico Nico Doga, like their own Japanese
Yes.
streaming
Sure,
site, which is
yeah.
like basically the advent of Japanese like internet culture. But like because YouTube became so big, everyone moved there. Nico Nico died, and
Oh, is it
everyone's
considered dead now?
I think it's basically dying right now because like
Oh,
it just
okay.
cannot catch up with YouTube anymore.
Right.
The crazy thing is, I mean, we're all from relatively Western kind of YouTube in a way, right? Like all of our YouTube is very much the West side of things. You know, you have your recommenders of like PewDiePie or whoever, right? I don't know if you guys. I mean, obviously you have Ash. Like when you dive into Japan side YouTube, oh my god, it's like a whole different world. Like it's
it's a
totally
different
world.
universe
Yeah.
entirely.
It's completely different. Like all the recommenders, all the famous people that you wouldn't have ever heard of, and then you click them and they're like 50 million like views on their channels and shit. You're like, what the hell is happening? And it's insane, like how different it can be, literally, when you're on the same kind of platform.
Yeah, you're on the very
YouTube.
same site, but like if you click just a different language, like it's an entirely different universe. Like sometimes even I am like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, and then you click it and he's massive, right?
Oh yeah, this guy's pretty good. You know, maybe I'll just give him a follow or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
So with I mean, we can't kind of talk about VTubers without talking about anime, right? The one of the underlying kind of industries that I feel like you know, with every gamer often comes the topic of anime as well. It's almost hand in hand. Almost. I know lots of gamers who don't, but at the same time, I know lots of gamers who watch anime as well. It's almost one of those things. Any you know, what's any kind of like favorite animes or anything you want to talk about, Ash?
Favorite anime? Damn, this is like the hardest question in the universe, man.
What would you say is one of the most kind of influential for yourself that you've watched?
I mean,
that you're like,
you definitely agree with me, but I'm gonna say this one: Ghost in the Shell.
Yes,
Standalone Complex, greatest of all time. Sorry, movies. The movies are great, but like the TV series, that's the good shit.
Oh,
right there.
definitely. Actually, we were talking about this the other day. The Standalone Complex probably is one of the few, like literally 10 out of 10s that I've ever seen. It's just so perfect in every way, and it's so old for what it is, and yet so relevant. I mean, the idea is. We talked about this in terms of cyberpunk, right? The whole idea of the laughing man being able to hack in real life literally is an idea in cyberpunk, not an idea, like a class in cyberpunk you can do where you hack people in real time.
Exactly, like,
and this is like 20 years apart, probably, or more actually, right?
I think it's at least like 20 years right now.
And it's insane. Raymond, have you ever seen Gitsack? Ghost in Shell Standalone Complex?
I didn't finish it, so to say. Yeah. I remember seeing bits of it, but I mean, like, I know it is a big favorite. I might have to go and finish it.
You definitely should. Like, it's probably, in terms of like people like anime and they're like, oh, what should I definitely finish? That's my number one go-to. I mean, I'm a huge Fate head, and I would love to say Fate, but no way. Gitsack is boom straight in there.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, Fate is great, but like, it can be extremely unnecessarily complicated for no reason.
The thing is, like, Ash, you and I, you know, we like Fate. We love Fate, actually.
Yes.
And we love it, and it's a great franchise. But at the same time, I do have difficulty recommending it because it's something that is
where do you start?
Right? And it's like a cult thing. It's like you got to be in the cult of Fate to understand Fate. Like, it's like when when a person is like, oh, what anime should I watch? I find it honestly quite difficult to be like, you should honestly watch Fate because it's like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
in my head, it's a 10 out of 10, but I can't recommend it as a 10 out of 10, if that makes sense.
It's
Right,
like, yeah, if
right.
you watch Fate Stay Night, yeah, it's great, but then you have to watch Unlimited Blade Works, and then you have to watch the Heaven Steel movies, you have to watch Fate Zero, and then now you have to watch Apocrypha, you have to watch Fate Grand Order, and all the little every.
It's very difficult to recommend some because it's like an overload, right? That's what I
it's
feel
okay,
like when
which
people.
fandom should I watch?
Let me
Yeah.
just interject right now. If anyone who's listening, and for you as well, right, anyone who wants to watch Fate, the best Fate to start with is Prisma.
Prisma Ilia, yes.
Prisma Ilia. Watch that shit. Go to prison, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, because like you get the Fate baggage, but just replace all the baggage with lolly. So
Lolly content I've literally ever watched in my life. Like I watched it because it's a Fate franchise, right? So I didn't think too much about it. Opened it, I was like, whoa, the FBI gonna be coming in soon. What the fuck did I just
FBI
watch?
open up.
actually, if you watch the more recent movies, you get to see like Emiyashiro being a badass, like without
Oh
all, like,
really? I didn't know
you know,
Emiya
like
was
how,
in a minute.
like you know how like Ikari Shinji's like
Yes.
a weak ass baby in the movies, but like
Yes.
this is basically like, what if we took that same kind of Emiyashiro, but like we give him a pair of balls.
What is this? What is this Ashiro with fail balls? That never happened.
Yeah, because like he's just like, oh, I gotta protect everybody. I gotta be a hero of justice. I gotta save Ilya. I gotta save Tosaka. Like
That's like making
dude.
Shinji from Eva like courageous, man. That's weird. You don't do that. That breaks the franchise.
It's an alternate universe kind of.
That's why they had to
Universe.
end. That's why they had to end Evangelion.
Yeah, because my god, I mean, I don't want to like keep swapping to anime, so we'll talk about Eva later. But the Fate Stay Night for me, I don't even know why. It just hit so many things that I was like, oh my god, this is like one of the best anime. And watching back, I'm like, I like it because I'm a Fate head, but like watching back, I'm like, it's not actually the 10 out of 10 that I thought it was. Do you get that, Ash?
I mean, it's great, but like honestly, the anime is just alright when you compare it to the video game.
I mean, come on, the video game is
the visual novel.
The visual novel is something else, man.
Yeah.
The visual novel spawned. I mean, how insane is it that you literally create a visual novel that spawns like I don't know, $1 million, $1 billion maybe franchise with like
$1 billion gacha franchise.
Yeah, $1 billion gacha franchise with like 57 different adaptations for anime and like 60,000 spin-offs. And like, it's insane.
Like 50 variations of the same main character.
Yeah. Did you mean Gilgamesh?
What? Yes, of course, Gilgamesh. Yes.
Gilgamesh.
I mean, it's one of those series that I feel like is very culty. You really have to be into it to be into it.
Yeah, like it's so deep, and then like there's even all the other like side stuff, which is like Tsukihime and like I don't know, Melty Blood, which is I don't know. It's a different.
It's so intense. It's so intense. Like, I mean, Apocrypha alone was like the most recent one, and even then, that threw people off. Like, wait, what universe is this? I don't understand anymore, kind of thing, you know. But
if I'm not wrong, it was like the third Grill War, but like somebody took the grill and ran away to a different country.
Yeah. It's like a different Grill War, and then there were like, if I'm not wrong, there's like Nazis in it, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
One of them was like
Nazi guy. It's like
it's
200
so
years
funny.
old.
It's like in what timeline of world history, like the Nazis were like, all right. Let's stop invading for now, right? Poland's enough. Let's just fight this Grill War.
Just steal this really nice cup and make magic out of it.
It's always funny. And I don't know why. I feel like it happens a lot in anime. They kind of like try and do spin-off of world events, right?
Like what if?
And then they're like, oh, suddenly the Nazis come in, and it's like. It would be firstly not just believable. Like it makes a lot more sense if you just made them the villain rather than like, oh, the Nazis are here. Like what the fuck? What the Nazis? What? Like why are they here? And what part of obviously it's like this alternate universe and shit. But also like why the Nazis? Just make them bad people. You don't have to like. There's no reason to be like, oh, they're more evil now because they are Nazis. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you watch JoJo, like the second arc's most coolest looking character is this Nazi guy who looks like Guile from Street Fighter with a machine gun in his stomach.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Do you watch much JoJo, Ash?
I read all the novels, man. I love JoJo. The manga.
The manga, yeah. Ray, what about you? You a JoJo fan or?
I started what's the newest one? Is it the
JoJolion?
No, I have no idea to be honest. The most latest one I know of was Stardust.
The manga or the anime?
The anime. I remember seeing it on
Arc 5, the one in Italy?
Yes, I think so. I remember watching a few episodes. I really like the style, but I think it was a bit.
Arc 5 is all style, like no substance.
No substance.
I swear, like the main character's literal power is like I can remove cause. I can remove effect and leave only cause.
That's I don't know. I have so many friends who love JoJo. You know, they like swear by it. It's like their number one 10 out of 10. You know, like we talk about best anime, they're like JoJo. I've never been able to get to it. I've given it a go literally like 3-4 times now. I started it. They're like, okay, don't start here then. Don't start in season 1, start on this, whatever, you know. And I can never get into it. They're like, start on Stardust. So I start on Stardust. I'm like, there's something about it which I don't know what it is. I just can't get into it.
I mean, like, I can't get into Dragon Ball, so there's that.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball is so overrated. I'm sorry, guys. Like, whoever's listening,
I feel like people only like it
not that
because,
good.
yeah, it's like people only like it because there's such a huge nostalgia filter onto it.
No, I think it's that, but also it's like back then there was no Crunchyroll, right? There was no like there's no anime tubes basically. There's no like streaming services. So like it was what was free on TV.
Yeah, you can only watch Dragon Ball.
Yeah, there was only Dragon Ball. It's same with like kids who grew up with Naruto and stuff. It's because it was what was showing and stuff.
Yeah.
Without again being the guy who always has hot takes, let's be honest, Naruto really in the grand scheme of anime not that fantastic. It's shonen. It's just shonen. It's like mindless.
Just watch Bleach instead. That shit's cool.
I will say Bleach. I actually really likes Bleach up to the Aizen arc. The
yes, I love everything up to the Aizen arc. We don't talk about the Aizen arc.
The art in Bleach was so crazily good for its time. Not the like the animation, everything about it was so hype. And then like compared to Bleach, you look at Naruto, it's like two different worlds, you know, like the character design and everything. It is. And it's very like classic shonen, right? Naruto.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, dumb protagonist with edgelord best friend, and then the cute waifu character who's the waifu in the end.
Sorry, Raymond, you're saying you remember?
I remember Bleach being like very, very cool for like the style and then all the ideas behind it being very cool. Back when we were that age, you know?
Exactly. This was ages ago, and Bleach. I feel like Bleach it wasn't like I don't want to be like, oh, Bleach was ahead of its time because it wasn't. It's a shonen, I would say.
Yeah.
But I found the manga art very appealing. Something about it was very aesthetic. Like it was very nice, and the character design, right? It was like just
like you see everyone in like anime events. They were all carrying like the Aranka masks or like all the masks. Like that shit was pretty cool.
I mean, shit, man, the Espada arc was insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fights, the Grimjow fight was one of the craziest fights I've ever seen. The animation, everything about it, up to that point, was one of the best I've ever seen. You know, it was insane. And so, like, now dips to Bleach, they really did really well on that.
That might be one of the. I think one of the most common things I heard, going back to JoJo and stuff, is the style's a bit different, right?
Yeah,
it's not very normal to sort of say. So I think
like,
maybe that's
all
what
about style. So like it's like I wouldn't say it's very substantial. Like I mean it's just like the mangaka just really likes art, like he really likes style. Like it's just literally bizarre. It's not meant to be great. I don't think it's the best thing, but I certainly like it at least.
It's got its own unique kind of thing.
Everyone has that kind of like different, you know, like everyone likes their not niche, but their different form of
like I honestly feel like JoJo is just like Fist of the North Star with like very nice clothes.
You love Fist of the North Star, huh? It's like one of your top 10.
It's the best show ever. Like
I
post-apocalyptic magical martial arts blow people's heads off.
It's so cool. Yeah.
And then like
it's
Jesus
funny
can
though.
fire laser beams from his hands. I mean, come on.
When people talk about like martial arts, like I don't know why, like always they go to like the classic like Hunter x Hunter kind of thing. They're like, oh, you know, it's like so like martial arts scenes.
Too bad it's never ending.
I again, probably another hot take. HXH is good, don't get me wrong, but it's overratedly good. Some of the fight scenes insane. Hisoka weirdly like just the weirdest character. Don't understand it. Like why erections when he sees kids? Don't get it. No really.
Like why? What's wrong with you, bro?
Right? Like, there's a lot about it that was just like what? Like why? Like there's no real need for that. But some of the fight scenes, you know, like what I always say this, and Ash, I said to you like a million times that. You know, Netero with Anking fight, one of my favorite fights. It's so insane. Good. It's just so good. So well animated. Just the storyline of that scene, so good. Just so well done. But I don't know. I find it it's just, like I said, another shonen. And what annoys me is that this is kind of it's always the trend, you know, like, oh, this is the shonen of the season. And then everyone talks about it. And it's the big thing. Like, again, not to hate on it. I've hit on it literally like 4 or 5 the last 3 episodes now. Himitsu. You know, like come on. It's not this
it's just like Zuma Naruto, guys.
Yeah, it is. It's actually the Naruto of this generation, right?
It is exactly that.
It's just Zuma Naruto. I just get over it.
It's exactly that, and it's being sold as like the top anime of the season, or not even the season, of like the decade. Basically, they're like Kimetsu has to make the list.
I mean, like, sure, it broke like literally every record in the universe, but like, I mean, it's okay. It's not the best show ever.
It's not. It's not. And
I feel like it just takes like very good, like it just takes existing ideas and just wrap it in a very nice like color and style.
Yeah, it's the style of it. The aesthetics, I will say, like I keep saying, animation aesthetics, even the sound, sorry, not the sound, the OST and stuff, amazing. But the story, come on, man, it's kind of weak. I've read the manga as well. It's not fantastic. And that weird classic siscon shit going on as well. It's like, okay, whatever, you know.
I think what it could be for this kind of era is gonna be like the gateway. You know, like
right, it's like baby's first anime.
Yeah, baby's first anime. You need something that's like not. It's not like amazing in everything, but it hits like a certain point of everything that you can recommend to.
Yeah, it's like easy watching, eh? So people can just watch it.
So I mean, it's definitely gotta be a gateway.
Yeah, it's a gateway. You can't like, hey guys, you wanna watch anime? Like, yeah, go watch Ghost in the Shell. It's just really like thick.
It is heavy. Yeah, it is heavy. Yeah. Like as much as I love, I mean, if I look at my top 10s and stuff, I probably can't recommend any of them because they're very heavy. Like Eva as a first anime, oh, that's pretty tough to watch, man.
Yeah, like, hey, you want depression? Yeah, just go watch Evangelion, man.
Yeah.
No, watch Planet After Story. No, Planet before the After Story.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, we can't talk about old anime and top 10s without talking about Eva. You know, we've brought it up twice now. Eva was such a great anime, but when I watch it back, I don't know about you, Ash. When I watch it back now, I can't finish it. I just can't. It's like almost annoying. Like Shinji just irks me so much now.
I feel like he's not meant to be a likable character because like he just runs away from responsibility all the time.
He does. I don't know. To be fair, I mean, half of us watch Eva because of Rei or Asuka.
I mean, yeah. Let's be honest.
No, let's be honest. I watched Rei. I mean, I watched it for Rei. The minute I saw Rei, I was like, "Yep, this is it. This is the anime of the season."
No. Asuka best girl, right? Talking about.
Yeah, I know, but it's not for Shinji. No one watches it for Shinji.
No.
Right?
Shinji just like, I'm just gonna walk away from these two hot babes. Like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I know. And then he's like, remember that scene where Asuka gets absolutely wrecked by the angels, like absolutely fucking destroyed.
Right. Yeah.
And Shinji's like, "Oh my god," kind of thing, and you're like, bro, this is like perfect. Like, have you never played like a dating sim? Get in there, bro. Have you never played a VN, bro?
Like this girl's getting like mind raped right now. He's just like, man, I'm so emo. Like, just let the world end. Like, bro,
literally like hiding in a corner and shit, being like, oh my god, I can't do this. And it's like, bro, literally, like every kid's dream is to pilot a fucking mecha. You have it, and you're like having a cry. And then he has like this like weird like love relationship with Kaoru, right? The Angel 10.
Yes, it's more like Kaoru loves him.
Yeah, it was so weird, man. Like, I just wanted to see Rei love Asuka instead. I don't want to see that like Kaoru shit, man.
Hey, the girls, they gotta appeal to the girls somehow. Like, do you know how
That is true.
You know how insanely popular like Kaoru X Shinji is Japan. It's even stronger than like Asuka and Rei, like legit.
No, fair enough. It was a marketing strategy.
Right. It literally is a marketing strategy.
It's insane. But I mean, Eva probably easily one of the top 10s. It's probably what introduced a lot of us to like.
Yeah.
I don't want to say this without offending half the industry, but like anime, like real intense, dark.
Right.
And the best thing is like the final Evangelion movie is actually coming out like exactly 1 week from now as of this recording. So we can finally watch all of Evangelion and finish it.
Like finally, finish it. It's such a massive franchise. It's like to be honest, like for me, I think it's gone on like a bit too long. There's just too much of Eva.
Well, I feel like it's more like they just kind of dragged on the movies too long because like if I'm not wrong, the director Anno Hideaki, he was just like depressed doing Evangelion. So he made the new movies to get rid of his depression, and he actually did because like but he was busy trying out other stuff. Like he did Shin Godzilla, He's making Shin
Oh,
Ultraman
did he do
now.
Shin Godzilla? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Oh wow.
Yeah, if you look at the Godzilla's eyes, they look exactly like Eva 01.
Oh shit! No way. That's
Oh,
sick.
Yeah,
That's sick.
and like the
Look out for
BGM
that
for like
now.
Shin Godzilla is straight up the exact same one they use in Evangelion.
You know, I actually want to bring this up. I mean, it's not. I guess it's kind of related, but this whole new era of anime of being on streaming sites and stuff, such as Netflix. When Netflix first started making anime or like putting anime on there, I never thought anything about it. But Netflix has produced some insanely good anime. Like to be honest, so I mean, obviously they get it's because they get with really good directors, right? But the quality of Netflix anime is surprisingly good for a random streaming service. You know, there's nothing like, I guess, Crunchyroll or whatever like that's actually into anime. They get, you know, Devilman Crybaby. Personally, not a fan because of the art, but I have to admit, story-wise, it's good. It is good. It's a good anime.
It is like, let's just make Devilman for modern day, and it's a bit insane, but I like it. I love it a lot. It's good.
Yeah, and even, I mean, if I'm not wrong, and I'm probably wrong on this, but one of the first ones that they started and they went swinging with it, Violet Evergarden. You know,
Yes.
Yes.
massive.
Violently Everblender. I'm just kidding.
But it was such a strong anime to come out of.
It is nice to look at. Like, I don't really like the show, but it is very, very nice to look at.
It's a bit too. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a bit too slow for me. A bit too like, kind of like nothing in the sense.
Man, the
really
money
happened.
they put into that, like, damn, the visuals is like,
yes,
15 out of
Gorgeous,
10.
gorgeous,
Absolutely,
right? Yeah.
absolutely.
That's what I remember from it as well. Just,
Yeah,
I don't care
and
about the
that's
story, but it looks nice, so that's
and
good
that's
enough.
kind of what it started. And then now they have like, you know, massive hitters. They have Castlevania, which I love. Castlevania,
Oh
huge.
man, like Castlevania is like probably my favorite American Japanese anime.
It's one of the few where I would argue I mean, you know me. I don't know about you, Ash. Like me and Raymond are huge subs only kind of anime watchers. Like,
I mean,
it's
like
weird
if you
to
watch
dub.
dub, like just unfriend me from all your social networks right now, guys.
But I would argue Castlevania's dub's actually really
Castlevania
good.
is really good dub. So like I actually watch it in English too. So
Exactly. It's that whole argument, and everyone would say this in the dub versus sub argument. It's like, oh, Cowboy Bebop's, you know, dub is also really good. It's probably better than the subs, and you know, whatever. Like, I don't want to get into that, but I would say Castlevania's dubs is insanely good. Like, it's insanely good. And so no, it's a really good anime, and it's insane that Netflix is making animes like that. And then I brought this up. On the other side of things of Netflix anime, you have shit like Yasuke.
we're gonna go to Yasuke now, huh?
Of course, we're gonna Yasuke. I mean, you can't
how
talk
about
Netflix
Record
anime.
of Ragnarok? That shit was
Oh my god! Talk about this with Ray. I have to talk about it.
Still frames, man.
Have you seen it? Have you watched it yet?
I watched one episode and I just gave up.
It's
like,
bad, right? It's bad. It's I've read a bit of the manga, and the manga's decent. Like, it's not bad. But then I watched the anime and I was like, oh my god, what is this? Like, Record of Ragnarok is genuinely fucking like 2 out of 10. It's just bad. I'm sorry, it's just bad. It's just terrible. It's very unwatchable. It's one of those, like, you know, you can hit or miss, and this is a complete mess.
Yeah, like there's stuff that like so bad it's good, but like this is just so bad. It's like, why are you even wasting your life?
This is so bad, it's bad kind of thing. And it's the same for Yasuke. You know, it started off decent, and then suddenly there's Mecha. What the fuck? I love Mecha, but then to watch a what Sengoku, right? Yeah, Sengoku period.
Like the Sengoku era, like it's the first Black Samurai, and it's suddenly robots. Like, what the hell?
That could have been so amazing because the story's insane. The story's crazy. It's like Nobunaga, who's like this like crazy Japanese warlord, basically, right?
Yeah,
basically a black slave guy who he just finds, really, right? And then becomes his best friend. The story on his own is insane enough. You don't need mechs in there. Then they put mechs in there, and it's like, what the hell's happening, right? It's absolutely crazy.
They're just trying to appeal to too many audiences, maybe.
They're like,
I mean, like, see, I love my Sengoku era. Like, I love Samurai Wars, and I am like the #1 proponent for mecha, but like, this isn't it, fam. Like, this, no.
It's a weird thing because we're talking about it was Basara, wasn't it? Sengoku Basara, which has the mecha in it. But like, we were talking about this, and you were like, it was actually made to be kind of like a parody or like a
this like Sengoku Musou Samurai Warrior, just like the straight to honest like Japanese historical drama stuff. And then like Basara's like, okay, since they made standard stuff, you're just gonna make like, what if Masamune had like 6 swords? Why don't we have like a giant Gundam or like actual demon lord from hell? So like that's straight, but like when I saw the Yasuke trailer, I'm like, this is gonna be like straight up Sengoku era with Black Samurai, but like no.
I mean,
Robots.
best like Sengoku slash what's past Sengoku? Is that Edo period, right? After Sengoku, or
No,
is it?
Egoku's like Edo is like after Sengoku.
Yeah. So like after Sengoku is Edo, right? The best Sengoku to Edo period anime, hands down for me, Gintama. Without a doubt.
I mean, I feel like Gintama is more like Bakumatsu, so it's after that. Yeah, if I'm not wrong.
I feel like Gintama is literally any period you could just put it in.
Gintama's like, here, let this just make like Japanese history with extreme apostrophes.
You know, it's so crazy because Gintama on like for example sites like My Anime List or whatever, right? It's definitely a top 10. You always see it in the leaderboards, right? But it's not. It's when we're talking, we never really bring it up as what's your top 10? Gintama, and yet Gintama is so good. It's
like,
so good.
I feel like it's definitely my top 10 because like it literally has no plot. You just get like random perverted Oji-san Seiyu to become random perverted Oji-san with white hair, who is like the strongest guy ever.
It's like just ridiculously strong, and then the crazy thing is, right? Exactly, we say that like it's a parody, it's a comedy thing. But then when they have action scenes, oh my god, the action scenes are good,
Holy
man.
Shit, yes, animation's so good. Like the action scenes, like wait, am I watching Gintama? Like, am I just checking the anime title again?
Right, like Gintama's a badass, bro. Like, rather Gintoki, he's a badass.
Yeah,
it's insane. Like, I love it. I genuinely love Gintama, and I think it's not that it's underrated. I think it's like, because it's so long and there's so much of it, it's not talked about enough as like one of the top 10 reigning animes of all time.
I feel like it is underrated in the sense that people say like, oh, Naruto's great, Bleach's great, Kimetsu's great, but like, honestly, Gintama is good because like you don't have to follow it, and there's so many episodes. But if you just go in, you'll just enjoy it regardless.
You just start anywhere; it doesn't matter. Yeah,
you don't need to know what's going on because you just laugh anyways.
It's genuinely one of my favorite kind of like you say, you know, like mindless anime. Sometimes you just want to be like mindlessly entertained. You don't want to watch like your like Steins Gate and shit where you have to think about stuff, or you don't want to.
This guy's just like it's a Japanese samurai Gintoki. He's like a totally alien Chinese girl Kagura, and then like random samurai boy with glasses, and like
like literally
just like a giant penis cannon in like Sapporo.
Yeah, like literally that's it. Like that's a story. That's one of the arcs, and it makes no fucking sense. They even have like the DBZ arcs where he goes around the world. What's the face? The vice.
What's his name? Hijikata.
Yes, Hijikata goes around the world trying to find a cigarette. Literally, that was the arc. and then it becomes DBZ and he's to fight like Fraser and shit. And it's fucking stupid, but it's so entertaining. And the best thing is that these people are like real people based on like, you know, true Shinsengumi like heroes and shit.
Like I've actually seen like the real Hijikata's grave. Like this guy's pretty cool, but like where's the mayonnaise?
But then you watch like Gintama and it's just this guy who's obsessed with smoking and mayonnaise. Like makes no sense, but it's so good. And I think it's like it's not slept on, definitely. It's a massive anime franchise, but it's so not spoken about that it really should be brought up more. When we're talking about like any kind of top 10s.
Yeah, everybody's just like, hey, oh yeah, you should watch all the Ghibli movies. I'm like, no, don't watch that shit. Watch Gintama.
We're getting into the Ghibli. I mean, we brought this up last podcast that look, Ghibli is good, right? Don't get me wrong. It's okay. No, sorry, Ghibli is decent. You have Spirited Away, which I actually do like. I love Spirited Away. Princess Mononoke. I do think it's a very strong anime. And then you have all these like really strong animes. You have what was it called? Grave of Fireflies, Hotaru, right? And then
Hotaru's like wow, like the most.
My God, Hotaru
shit
like
ever.
broke me. Hotaru literally broke me. And then boom, you come up with Ponyo.
What
and it's like
Ponyo? What the fuck is Ponyo, bro? Like
what happened there?
How do you go from like my favorite show is like I like Castle in the Sky.
Yes, Castle in the Sky is good. What
and then you have like Ponyo, like what the hell is Ponyo?
What was the one where they were where it's like it's a traveling world, like this guy has like a thing where House Moving Castle.
Moving Castle.
I found it so overrated. I'm sorry, I just found it so overrated.
I mean, like, it's okay.
Right. Yeah, it was alright, you know. But like Ponyo definitely is not overrated. I feel like Ponyo gets a lot of hate. Totoro is one of my most like it's like my pet peeves. I do not think it's good. I'm sorry, I just do not think it's good. It's like, oh, you move next to like a weird fucking thing. Wow, let's make a story out of it.
Shit's creepy, man. Like
it's
this shit's
creepy.
It's weird.
Actually, talking about creepy, Spirited Away, you know, like I watched it when I was like, I don't know, 12, 10, whatever. I can't remember when it came out. But that shit actually creepy as hell when you think about it. That shit be creepy as hell. I don't know if we talk. I think we talked about this last podcast. It's so creepy. It's so scary. It's just one of the scariest shows, and it's somehow like basically people are like, oh, it's like the Japanese Disney, bro. It's not, man. Like, in what world does Disney have
It's
the parents?
darker Disney.
I mean, it's only Disney because like Disney licenses that Ghibli stuff in America. That's all.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like, I feel like it's all marketing. They hit the right marketing channels, and it
Yeah, like
blew
they were
up in
lucky they got
America.
Disney because like now everybody's like, oh yeah, this is like Japanese Disney. But I'm like, yeah, man, Disney's overrated and so is Ghibli. Like, I'm sorry, man.
It is. I mean, to be fair, Disney is like the Japanese, the American anime side of things, right? Like it's animation, literally.
It is like the anime of the universe.
Yes.
Yeah. And okay, that's fine. You know, I don't want to touch on Disney. That's their problem. American do American things, whatever, right? But then they talk about Ghibli, like it's like Ghibli, whatever. Like it's like the next coming of like God for anime world, and it's not. Same with all the massive big hitters. I always find are really disappointing. Like Your Name, Kimi no Nawa.
I mean, Kimi no Nawa is like it's okay.
It was
animation and aesthetics, 10 out of 10, 100%, 10 out of 10, without a doubt. Everything else apart from that is weird. Storyline, super weird. The fact that they suddenly have like singing in it, super weird. You know, there's so much better shows, but I feel like Kimi no Nawa, because it was so good, everything after that, they're like, oh man, whoever makes this, you know, it's going to be good. And so they spawn all these other. What was the most recent one?
It was like
The Ring with You?
Yeah.
With you.
Which again, it's animation things, everything out of 10. Show wise, I've seen way better romances. Be it in the shoujo, shonen, seinen world, or whatever world.
Yeah, like honestly, like I think like Makoto Shinkai he's great, but like he's not the best thing. Like sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I feel like it goes back to the whole Kimetsu thing. I feel like if you just make it pretty, people are like, oh yeah, this is top 10 anime
like, it's
of all
the
time.
best thing ever. No,
You know,
no, it's not.
you want to talk about pretty versus unpretty? Look at Berserk old school versus Berserk 2016.
I mean,
right there, bro.
I mean, I kind of like the 2016 one.
Rest in peace, but the 2016 one, no way compares to the. Is it 1996? Was it? I think it was.
Yeah.
No way compares. Let's be honest. The OG one was ugly as hell, bro. It was. It's so old school, like animation shit, but it was true to the story.
I mean, like Berserk is ugly as hell in universe too, so like it fits.
Bro, the Berserk world actually, like, oh my god, like we talked about how anime can be quite dark. Berserk is hella dark. Berserk monster. I feel like all this seinen level shit, so dark, man.
To put it in the meme way, like Berserk is the Dark Souls of Dark Souls.
yes.
Like legit, like
it's
because of like Miura Sensei's designs that we actually get Dark Souls now.
Yeah, it inspired Dark Souls, did it not?
Like every Dark Souls game has Berserk's like a Dragon Slayer weapon because they love like Berserk so much.
I mean, like Berserk is in itself one of the god tier seinens, right? I mean, you want to talk about what's up there. There's like Vagabond, there's probably Monster, you would chuck that into. Golden Kamui is one of the I guess more recent ones that is
actually like I feel like more people need to watch or read Golden Kamui. It is so good. Like
Golden Kamui, I said this to you, Ash, the other day off recording. Golden Kamui is like Eurocamp seinen ways. Right?
Yeah, it's like
they just stop and they're like, all right, this is how you're gonna.
Yeah, like Eurocamp's like, I'm gonna pitch a tent, but like Golden Kamui like, I'm gonna skin this guy's back off.
And then it's like, this is how you make like reindeer meatballs or whatever.
Yeah,
you're like,
then it's just like, oh yeah, it's delicious, and like, oh poop. Like, no, it's not poop, it's miso.
exactly. It's like, oh, that's miso, and it's like, no, you're eating poop, and like genuinely, that's like half the storyline, but it's so entertaining and so good. Golden Kamui is without a doubt one of the, I don't know if it's slept on. It's not as big as Kimetsu, obviously, but like I would say it's slept on. I don't hear it enough as well, and it's really, 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 really good.
And like the manga's ending soon, so like if you wanna watch or read Golden Kamui, now is the best time.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I like to read mangas that have ended. I hate waiting week to week. That's why
Yeah,
I haven't caught up with One Piece. I can't. It's never gonna
that
finish.
shit's never ending, bro. It's never ending.
It's such a massive franchise, though. I will say, like
why did it take so long just to get One Piece? Just to go to KFC, get a 2-piece chicken, bro.
it's like, bro, you'll be literally selling for like 40 years now. Just chill out, man. Like, just give up. Just go home. You're probably rich enough. You're already like.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure One Piece is the friends we made along the way. So
yeah, imagine that. To get to that, imagine literally the ending story is like One Piece was your nakama that you found along the way, bro. You know
they're gonna do the post. The manga's gonna end like that. Calling it right now.
But I mean, you know, good on him. He's still writing it. At least it's better than all those like massive mangas that kind of go hiatus. You know, like Vagabond and stuff, never gonna end, kind of thing. I feel like. Talking about that whole kind of manga anime thing with, you know, what's mainstream and now anime definitely more mainstream now. We have to admit that. Have you guys found that it's almost so mainstream, like it's literally everywhere? I mean, most recent example, not even just anime, like gaming as well. Olympics, playing video game music.
Yes, I remember hearing that.
Actually, I was just watching the Olympics and like people were doing like Naruto poses and like One Piece poses like when they get into like the arena.
Really?
Like legit, and all these people like winning medals left, right, center. So like they're literally winning with the power of anime.
And then there wasn't there that Max showed us the girl who was in shooting or whatever, who had a Witcher 3 medallion as well.
Yeah, like that is so cool, man. Like I wish I was half as cool as her.
Like that's just insane. I mean, the gaming thing is so mainstream. We talk about this literally every episode, but it blows my mind how mainstream it is when not even that long ago we used to be like ostracized for it.
Yeah,
not
like,
ostracized,
like you like anime, like games, you're a fucking nerd, you know? Like
yeah.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, like
everybody's like, hey, have you watched Kimetsu no Yaiba?
Yeah. Now it's like, oh man, Kimetsu no Yaiba is my favorite anime, guys. What?
I love Attack on Titan, man. You should watch that shit.
Fucking
bro.
Oh my god! Don't get us started on this.
I don't want to gatekeep, but like you gatekeep us away first. So like
I feel like there is almost like a learning curve to anime. You know, everyone start like Raymond said. You know, it's a good intro. Like everyone starts with your Kimetsu, your AOT. I mean, AOT probably introduced a billion people to like, or not a billion, but like a lot of people to anime. Same with Kimetsu. Same with Naruto. Blah blah blah. But I feel like very quickly after that, your taste develop, and you're like, shit. There's a lot of I don't want to say niche, but yeah, niche anime basically.
There's so much
better.
stuff.
There's so much better. A lot of stuff that doesn't get kind of like the credit it deserves. You know, we even for example, it's not. I'm not saying it's a 10 out of 10. Zetsu no Tempest. It's not even that niche, but half the people haven't heard it, and it's like to me, it's better than all the it's better than Kimetsu. Because Kimetsu stories shit. You can talk about Zetsu, and you can talk about shit. I don't even know, man. Oh, I recently watched what is it called? Eden of the East.
That sounds pretty nice. It's this kind of classic anime.
It's like it wasn't amazing, you know. It wasn't a 10 out of 10, but to me, it was better than the shit that we're getting nowadays in this season of the isekai world. Era.
Every other isekai show. Oh my god!
I mean, bro, recently what was the one raid that we found? The one about the pharmacist one. What is it called?
Like transported into a drugstore, like owner of a drugstore or something.
Yeah. Basically, like it blows my mind. He's like isekai, right? Obviously, he probably gets hit by a car or some shit. Spawns in a new world, opens up a pharmacy.
I mean, you guys will know about this.
Yeah.
Bro, what? They've gone so far from like Overlord, Sword Art Online, all this anime where you spawn in a world, you become god tier, right? They're like, oh, that's too mainstream now. Let's do one where I just want to live a normal life as a pharmacist in another world with like literally magic. Like this is. I mean, disclaimer: I haven't actually watched it. I assume it's going to be a world where there's magic healing or healing magic, and then they're like, no, don't do that, don't do that healing magic shit. Drink this potion. What the fuck? What is this? What is this world of isekai that we're into now?
They're just trying for everything.
Yeah. Why would I want to get rammed by a truck to become like a pharmacist? Like, bro.
Ash, how do you feel about isekai genre or era in general?
I feel like it's just extremely overdone now. Like
Yeah.
everything and anything's isekai. Like I like some isekai shows. Like
Yeah.
my favorite ones has to be like one of the more recent anime. It's actually a very long running novel series. It's called Mushoku Tensei.
Oh yes, that's the smart the guy who gets reborn and he's a genius, right? Like a genius grandchild or some shit, something like that. Is that the one?
Yeah, like just basically like this no lifer. It's a NEET who's fapping at home.
Yeah.
He ran over by a car. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna live life properly now. And
And he's
actually
like,
extremely
Oh
wholesome.
yes.
I remember this, and he's born in like a normal family, but he's like god tier, and he just learns magic really well. Yeah. I do remember this. And see, isekai. I'm a huge fan of isekai. I love isekai, and I always have ever since I guess Escaflowne or Digimon or whatever. I just find this
Digimon's
concept of
basically isekai, yeah.
yeah. I just found this concept of like being in another world so entertaining, but it is so overdone now that like it. There's so much isekai. My personal favorite of this era, the more recent one, is Slime. But Slime the light novel and Slime the manga.
Oh, Tensura.
Is it? Yeah.
Reincarnated as a slime, right?
Yeah, reincarnated as a slime. Yeah. I find
Yeah.
that mindlessly entertaining, you know. Even the anime is really good. But I read manga over I always read manga over anime. So you know, that's my favorite. And then you see that, and then you see the shit that's like just bad.
I got reborn as a sword. I got reborn as a vending machine.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, right? They like if you read like be it Reddit or like I guess the quote unquote weeb community, otaku community, whatever you want to call it, they'll be like, oh my god, this isekai has such a new storyline. It's so crazy. And then literally you see the title and it's like I was reborn. Oh no, the rising shield hero. So instead of an attacking class, it's a defending class. Wow. So novel, guys. Big difference.
Like, let's just take his sword and give him a shield.
Right? Like,
I mean, to be fair, I think Shield Hero is alright.
Shield Hero is pretty good.
It's decent. It's decent because he has to use his brain. It's not just like overpowered as shit kind of thing. But it's not like, how do I say this? It's not like, wow, this is a completely new thing in Isekai world. It's literally just like, oh, it's a guy who got born into Isekai world, isn't that great, but then has to use his brain, right?
I think the interesting part of that one was like when he came into the world, he wasn't like loved by everyone, right?
I guess so. Maybe he was like hated by everyone, kind of thing. I think I don't know. People probably not agree with me, but like one of the more different ones is, in my opinion, is probably RE0. In terms of
RE0.
Yeah, it's so mainstream, I know, and I sound like a normie for saying it, but like RE0 is so different in concept because like it's almost like if Shinji was in an isekai world, because Subaru is so hard to love as well, man. Like especially in the ending, so right? The ending.
I want to say Subaru can die, but he'll just come back to life again.
Yeah, exactly. In the ending of season 1, Subaru was so annoying. Like I literally stopped watching the first time because of that. But
me too. I did not enjoy that character at all, especially in the beginning.
But then season 2 got a lot better, you know, and then you start to understand it more and stuff, and you kind of understand. And apparently the light novel is like crazy good. It's like really really good. And I will say one of the more my more enjoyed isekai one is the, what is it called? I think it's like I was reborn as a spider, so what, or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I think it's so I'm a spider, so what?
Yeah. So I'm a spider. So I'm a spider, so what? That is really good. It's actually really good. I really enjoy that.
I think it's pretty interesting because like everyone sees it differently.
Yeah. Do you know the actual story of it? Have you guys read the light novels of it?
I've seen like clips, but I've not actually watched it.
Yeah, right. I've seen clips of it, but I haven't.
The manga is terrible. The manga is not a good adaptation. The anime done by Crunchyroll is actually a better adaptation of the light novels than the manga is. Yeah.
Wow.
So for the first time ever, it's actually true to the story, because in the manga it just shows you kind of like bits of the spider arc almost, right? And it's like, I don't know, it's just not done well. The anime shows you everything, the human side, everything as well, because obviously you have this like OP spider, and then there's still the rest of the world going on, so they're like world building and all that stuff. So a lot better. Definitely recommend watching the anime. But if you do read the light novel, and I don't want to spoil it, if you do read the novel, it's like very different or more different than you would think. And that's kind of all I can say without spoiling it too much. But because you know what, I guess the the biggest thing is, why did he get reborn as a spider and not like a human kind of thing? And that's the biggest question. And the light novel does address that, and it's really, really cool. So yeah, the isekai has good points, but I feel like it's so overdone, and I completely agree with Ash on that.
I think with isekai, you have to have, it's like and the really good isekais are the ones that are like doing things differently, right, from the normal isekai story. But then when people try to do different stuff, it's very hit or miss.
That's why everyone's just like, hey, I moved to a new universe. I am God. I can do everything. Everybody loves me.
Yeah, I am just OP, you know, like all the did you mean every isekai ever before this current arc? And now it's like, oh, okay, let's do things different. Let's be all normal people. Like,
maybe like they should make an isekai where like this guy gets transferred into so many isekais, just sick and tired of
actually
reborning into isekai.
No, it should be one where
I'm sure there's one out there that is like that.
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to find like true death after going into so many isekais.
What I found really interesting in one isekai is the have you guys seen Gate?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Gate's pretty interesting.
It actually is, because it makes sense. It makes sense.
It's like reverse isekai.
It's like, it's reverse isekai, and the whole Japan can go in, and it makes sense. Obviously, we would have the modern firepower versus like horses and shit, right? Like, it makes sense, and so Gate makes sense, and it's cool why as the overpower and stuff. And Gate is it's not slept on, but it's one of the ones that I actually enjoy more than just like.
Definitely, the concept is definitely interesting. Like, you can think about it, like if it really did happen, then obviously countries would definitely move in that kind of direction, right?
I mean, like, we're gamers, so like we're always wondering like, what happens if zombie apocalypse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All of us, I think, have like a zombie apocalypse plan in our head. Like, what would you do first?
Yeah.
Instantly, I would go like, get a boat, get some guns, go to Countdown, raid it, get the hell out.
Yeah,
you get to see zombies don't get you.
I mean, I was thinking like maybe put like a whole bunch of like exercise bikes in front, like what was it called again? The treadmill. And then
And then, it's like Plants vs Zombie style. They literally can't get to you.
Exactly.
That's insane. That's assuming they're not Resident Evil zombies.
Oh my god!
And that's the thing. Every time this is actually a really cool topic. Every time I talk about zombie apocalypse, right? It depends what zombies you're talking about. Yes. You're talking about just like Walking Dead, literally like the
brainless shuffling.
the brainless shuffly ones. If they're the shufflers, fine, no problem, easy. I reckon we would survive. What would kill us would probably be like diseases, because we wouldn't.
What if Resident Evil style tyrants? What are you gonna do, man?
Exactly.
It's over. If it's Resident Evil level zombies, it's over, bro. Like, there's no way.
Give me the gun, I'll just shoot myself, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you see the Resident Evil, even the franchise itself, the world is fucked, bro. Even the heroes of that world cannot survive, bro. It's shit, we're dying, And so the zombie apocalypse is very interesting. And I think a lot of gamers kind of not fantasize, but like are like, oh, what if that?
We're basically prepared if it ever happens.
Yeah. The gamers are the people that are more prepared.
Gamers it's a funny thing, eh? Like, I feel like gamers, if that happens, we will be the ones who survive, even though we're probably all like quite unfit and shit because we're like gaming all the time.
There'll be a gamer society which is doing the best.
Gaming is like anime. I feel like gaming has moved also into a very mainstream kind of way, right?
Yeah, like everyone's just playing like their favorite mobile game now.
Yeah,
it's all mobile, like mobile or MOBAs or like whatever,
So bad.
Yeah, I don't. The gaming, this move into, on one hand, the move into being mainstream is great for gamers like us. Literally, like, gamers rise up, right? But like, it's good because we're not how do I say this? Not as hated as much anymore. Like back then, you used to get shit for it, but it's like, it's too mainstream now, where like gaming companies or gaming peripheral companies can kind of like get away with like all this weird shit.
Weird stuff that they try.
I mean, fuck. I'm gonna bring it up. Razer. I saw this ad recently, and I know it's been going on for a while. Razer making chewing gum and literally marketing it as like gamer gum.
Gamer gum, or like gamer bottles.
It's called, or gamer bottles. All this shit. I don't. What? What is gaming gum, bro?
Yeah, like what? You're gonna eat the gum and like it'll expand your like your brain like memory thinking, and you can like get better strategies or some bullshit.
Yeah, you're basically like, oh shit, if I chew this gum, my focus is better or whatever. And
it's just
also,
like drinking like Red Bull, bro. Like it's just Red Bull.
It's pretty much the same, right?
You know what the most ironic thing about that is though? Like Razer is a Singapore company. Oh, it's the founder of Razer is a Singaporean, right? You can't even get gum in Singapore. So like,
yeah, like what the hell, man?
It's like a heavily gimmick thing for like basically, USA, obviously. And it's like, wow, okay, Mr. 10 of Singapore.
Yeah, make land. Look at your gamer keyboard, like your gamer chairs.
The gaming, and they moved into gaming chairs recently.
And now they're making like gaming like face masks because of COVID.
Oh yes, I saw
the Project Zephyr now. It used to be Project
They just announced it today as well, just like a few hours ago, man. Like gaming. I mean, sure, like RGB glass like face masks. It's actually pretty cool. Like I kind of want that, but
it's very Raiden. It's very Cyber Ninja.
It looks very bulky, doesn't it? I remember seeing pictures. It's just huge on your face.
I mean, like, do I need RGB on my face mask? Like, no, but do I think it's absolutely freaking insane? Like, hell yeah.
Yes.
So this RGB thing is getting out of hand, though. Let's be honest. RGB everything now. Even like chairs are RGB.
Next thing, like RGB condoms when it's gonna happen.
Imagine that. It'd be so gross, bro. I mean, we were talking about this the other day. My current mouse pad is RGB, but only because it's literally cheaper than a normal mouse pad now. Like what? How is it cheaper than it genuinely was.
How?
It was like I don't know. Like, and it's shit. I fucking hate RGB on my mouse pad. It makes no sense. RGB belongs in, I get it, peripherals and stuff. It looks cool when you're like gaming. You want your RGB. That like rainbow breathing pattern that goes through ripple pattern that goes through your keyboard, very like gamer style. That's cool. That is cool. But then like RGB on your mouse pad, really, like, bro, it's
like, is it going to distract you from like looking at the screen?
Yeah, well, probably. All I can say that it's very annoying. It's very annoying because now you have like the thing is when you have RGB, you want to use your RGB, right? So like I have a random USB taken up to power this RGB mouse pad. Like what the fuck?
I mean, like might as well use it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's insane, and like motherboards are RGB now, RAM is RGB now, like.
So,
bro,
but
really,
that kind of stuff is just like the whole aesthetic of your build.
It is
right?
aesthetic. It is aesthetics of it, and I get it. But the price difference is massive. We're talking like 25% more sometimes for RGB on like RAM and stuff. And I mean, let's be honest, it's pointless for people who are like building computers first time or like new to gaming or computers in general. RGB RAM literally does nothing.
Yeah.
Versus normal RAM, and that should be common sense, would I buy, like, if they were the same price, would I buy RGB over normal RAM? Probably. Like, why not?
Yeah.
But for 25% more, it makes no sense. RGB is completely out of
why would I want to pay so much just to look at glowing lights while
and it just cycles through, and like half the time how many times do you look into your case, really?
The case is underneath my desk, so I don't really see it.
Yeah, like it is.
Wait, your case is on the ground?
It's
on the ground too.
It's propped up a little bit, but yeah.
That's like sacrilege, man.
Nah, it's fine. You just have good ventilation on it.
Bro, if I had it in my house, because I have a dog, right? Can you imagine that? Holy shit, my thing would be caked with like animal fur.
It's probably. I mean, it'll be caked with animal fur on a desk anyway, right?
Nah, it's fine now. It's not as bad.
My fur, if it's anything,
the Higesama fur.
all this hair, man. Like,
it's but do you guys think gaming is like too mainstream now? Like it's too much now, almost.
I think with the big acceptance to it, I'm sure a lot of people they're just testing the waters to see how far they can get right now.
What I don't like is kind of it sounds so, not even elite. It sounds so nerdy to say this, but like gaming used to be a thing where like it was so not niche, but it was such a small community because you were like hated because you didn't like have a life or whatever, right? That like back then we all bonded over like, oh, you're a gamer, I'm a gamer too, kind of things. Oh, did you spend 14 hours playing like, I don't know, 14 hours a day playing, you name it, MMOs, whatever games, blah blah blah, right? And you're like, yeah, I did too. That's how I spend my thing. And but nowadays I feel like, how do I say this? I feel like people almost like take advantage of the fact that gaming is mainstream. We're talking like all the like streamers who like get into gaming for the money side of things rather than the love of gaming. Does that sound pretentious? It probably does sound a bit pretentious. But I feel like there's a lot of this kind of streamers out there who game for the sake of a revenue, and they're like, oh, look at me, I'm
Like-
kawaii as shit, you know, I'm gonna game kind of thing. Like League of Legends, massive one back then with all the like titty streamers and that kind of shit.
Mm.
And it
Yeah.
kind of, do you know what I mean? Like it kind of annoys
I
me
know
because
exactly. Like they're just in it for the money and not for the love.
and it sounds so pretentious. It sounds so pretentious coming from like, you know, just people who love games. But bro, we had to go through shit, man, before gaming got this big. We had to go through some tough shit. We had to go through like days of dial-up internet. Firstly, we had to go through like. I mean, we had to go to days where literally to connect with your friends to play games, it would be like, through IP addresses.
What was that? What was it? That little app called what? A little tiny app where you just had to go like play with friends.
Right.
Wait, what? Ventrilo? TeamSpeak?
No. It's like another one of those like P2P where you could connect with friends.
Yes.
It's Garena.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what a throwback, Ash. Garena, yeah. Back then, we couldn't play, you know, with internet, so we would have to land through Garena and all that kind of shit.
Or like go to like a whole friend's house, we just play like eight man Xbox, you know, like
oh my god, the throwbacks,
those
LAN parties and shit. Okay, we had to go through that shit, man. People don't understand it. All these new school gamers and shit, they're lucky that they get to sit at home with very nice fiber internet connections with, you know, a $5,000 computer that dad buys nowadays because gaming is so accepted. Whereas back then it was like, wait, 5,000 for a computer? That's crazy. You should be using it for schoolwork or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So they get all these rigs nowadays to play fucking like Minecraft or
like they're playing like what? They buy like a 3090 just to play like Minecraft. Like, bro, what the hell?
They're like all these new school gamers are so sponsored and shit. And they don't understand my first like PC didn't even have a GPU. It had like integrated Intel graphics.
Yeah, man. Like, do they know what integrated graphics is at all? Like, do they know what Windows 95 is, bro? Like,
I could literally barely run like Maple Story or like Guild Wars 1, you know. And back then I had to struggle the struggles of having to like your game would crash because you overheated a computer, so you let it cool down, replay it, and you just put up with it. You know,
I had to go through so many hoops just to play like my PS1 games, like on my emulators. Like back then, we had such difficult emulators. Now I'm just like,
oh my god,
I just download off the land and like,
my god, absolutely. I mean, they. It's not. We sound like boomers, like back in my day, but it's like we went through shit for this generation of gamers, man. Don't abuse it and
literally just pave the path for these guys.
Yeah,
like dude, like.
You know,
I learned Japanese just to play Japanese games, and now like this shit is all coming out in English in the same day now.
It's actually insane. I mean, we're talking about that before. That you know, like so many Japanese games that were previously inaccessible. That now that they realize the English market is massive for them. You know, the minute they translated it, it was like so big that they're like, holy shit, maybe we should do it more, kind of thing, right?
Like, you know, like the first Pokemon games took 7 years to come out in English.
Did it really?
Really?
Yeah. And now like
oh my god.
And now like what same day releases in every single
absolutely.
Like, and they have 10 different languages in the car. Like, holy shit, guys.
It's insane,
it's crazy.
And that's literally our struggles that we had to go through. And like I said, we sound like boomers saying that, but fuck man, I'm just sick of seeing kind of all the I don't know, like trash media out there about
like no offense to like the kids who has like an iPad who's playing like Minecraft. I'm like, come on, like the gamer tag now is just so
Yes, that's exactly it. It's not that we're trying to be elitist. This whole like
I don't want to be elitist, but like
it's very watered down. It's very watered down. It's like, bro, you don't understand like the shit we had to go through to get not the status of being a gamer or whatever. It's not about that. It's the fact that like, bro, you don't even
like we literally went through shit from people just because we like playing video games.
It was so difficult, and now these kids are like, "Oh, you play like RuneScape? I play probably not RuneScape, but like Minecraft or whatever, you know, like whatever kids
like,
play.
Those
nowadays.
kids probably don't even know what RuneScape is, bro.
Bro, like that's what I mean. It's so mainstream now that it's almost like I kind of miss the days where it's like your community was very tight knit and small because it was like people, you know, only a certain amount of people played whatever
you played.
Like back then, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, have you heard of this game called Persona 3?" And I was like, "Hey, Persona 5 is the best game ever. Everyone's playing Persona 5."
What's Persona 5? And then now Persona 5 is so mainstream that it's almost kind of annoying because it's like,
it's become like JoJo.
The fan base for Persona, like bro, I love you know me. I love Persona 5. I think it's amazing. P5R,
It's great, but like
P4G, amazing. It's a great series, great game.
P4G is the best game, and no one can say anything about it. Like, sorry, P5, it's great, but like,
you do like
P4G,
P4 more, huh? You like P4 a lot more than P5.
I mean, like, I know you say it's very predictable, but like, I mean, the Virgin Jokos is the Chad Narukami.
I think it's not predictable. It was predictable for me, but I think that's because like I've been in anime and gaming kind of like enough.
Adachi, like this guy is sus as hell.
Yeah, you know the
Spoilers,
tropes.
like,
You know the tropes.
Yeah.
You know the cliches. But it's not like it's like definitely. I mean, it was very obvious for me. But I remember like literally on day one, I was like, Ash, it's this guy's in it, and you're like, oh, someone's been paying attention.
Say it, but like, oh, okay.
Like someone's been paying attention, kind of thing. And then P5, P5 is like, how do I say this? P5 is like the Kimetsu of like the Persona world. It's prettier.
Yeah.
There's really nice music. There's really nice graphics. Storyline probably not as strong, but in this age is probably more relevant. You know what I mean? It's like fuck the establishments.
I like the story. Like great. Like stick it to the man. We use the internet to screw everybody. Like hell yeah.
But what I don't like is how in a sense it's so mainstream that people are like, oh, this is best ever. This is like VR.
Yeah, Persona 5 invented JRPGs.
Yeah. Basically how it is, right? They're like, oh man,
turn-based games. Yeah, Persona 5 invented that. Did you know that?
Yeah, like turn-based or even like, I mean, music-wise, I loved Persona 5's music.
It's great music.
It's really good. But they're like, man, Persona 5's, the way they like did OSTs like never seen before in like games. What?
Persona 5 invented OSTs, guys. Like, come on.
Bro, what? There's so many great games with great OSTs. I can name literally a million. Well, okay, not a million, but I can name so many. Great OST games and stuff. And I find it really annoying that I guess it comes hand in hand with the YouTube culture or the review culture that we're in, right? Everyone has their opinion where they put it out there, and then people who are big, people kind of tend to copy almost their opinions, if that makes sense. Like, let's say this guy who has 2 million, 3 million subs, they'll be like, oh, don't really like Fate, for example. Everyone's like, oh, fuck Fate, shit, blah, 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 whatever, suddenly, right? But I don't know, it's almost like people are just copying the thing. Whereas back then, bro, people stuck to their guns, man. You can, for every person, for example, who loved Ash, what's a pretty, like, maybe MGS, there's probably people who hated MGS as well. And for every person who loved Pokemon, there's probably people who are like, man, I hated the turn-based of it, and so on and so forth, kind of thing. But now it's like, oh, this famous person likes it, so I'll play it. I love it too, kind of thing, and it kind of annoys me.
A lot of people don't have opinions right now. Like they don't actually see for themselves why people enjoy this game.
It's very like it's so mainstream that people kind of like copy pasta their opinions as well, which annoys me. It really does.
Yeah, like I'll just watch the game on YouTube and I think it's great.
So many, and that's why I'm like, I mean, so many of my opinions are like literally apparently hot takes. Because I'm just like, no, I'm sticking to my guns. This is not that good. I'm sorry,
Yeah, we pay actual money for these games. Like last time, like back then, it's not cheap to buy like one video game. Man.
Oh my god! I actually talking about that. Like, how do kids afford these games nowadays, man?
It's all free mobile games with microtransactions now. So like, you don't need to afford anything.
That is true. I mean,
can you imagine like Pokemon Red being like a gacha, like a mobile game? Like you get 50 Pokemon free. But like to complete, like if you want to get the 5th gym leader, you have to pay to unlock the 5th
Not even
gym
that.
leader.
Like you want Pikachu S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, or you can get D tier for free. But if you want to
evolve Pikachu to Raichu, you gotta pay $10 for a Thunderstone.
Oh my god, Thunderstone, $10. Can you imagine that? That'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy. Like the HMs would definitely be like a gacha system.
Yeah, you roll for HM.
No, like you want Thunderbolt, it's a gacha. Yeah, they gacha for like the 4th slot in the Pokemon battle.
Oh, I bet, like, to be honest, it probably won't, but I wouldn't even be surprised if Game Freak did that, or Nintendo, whoever owns it, did that. If they were like, yeah, let's gacha it. Like, make a, not that to the main franchise, but make a gacha Pokemon game, if they haven't already. Is Pokemon Go gacha?
Isn't there a mobile Pokemon now? I don't know.
Oh, Unite?
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay, so like, from what my friends told me, because I actually had a discussion with them, like, just a few days ago, and they're like, you actually only really pay to like speed up unlocking stuff because like you have to grind to unlock content.
So they pay for convenience kind of thing.
Yeah, paying for convenience. So like you don't actually pay to like win the game. You're just paying to make grinding basically non-essential.
Yeah, that's basically the FF14 thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean,
Like, you can
bro,
pay like
FF14.
$20 to skip the main story to be at level 70, and then you have no idea how to play your class.
And then you rage quit and say it's a bad game.
Yes, bad game.
Wait, are we talking about FF?
Yeah,
Does that happen a lot? Does people rage quit because they're like this?
Yeah. The thing is, like, a lot of people just pay just to like go to level 70 and then like go to end game. Like, oh yeah, I can't play this game; it's difficult. Like, bro, like FF14 is so easy. Like, they make it so accessible for like people who've never played like MMOs like myself.
Yeah.
And then with you guys who like basically like, oh yeah, like I've played like 5 billion MMOs.
I mean, I come from, to be honest, my main kind of thing was MMOs to begin with, and then I started FF14. You know, I think you guys described it best when I first started FF14. You guys described it as a JRPG that just happens to be an MMO, and that's the perfect way to describe it, because it's not an easy game. To be honest, it's not an easy game to get into if you're not used to JRPGs. If you come from like a Western RPG standpoint, where like let's be honest, Western pacing is a lot faster than Japanese pacing, right? Recently, I mean, Ray knows this. Recently in FF14, I did a fucking whole arc where it's like basically pointless, like literally pointless, but it's just kind of part of JRPG. And I find what really almost amusing, not amusing, but interesting, is that all these WoW players are coming over and they're like integrating like it's no problem. They're like, sweet, let's just jump right into it, you know? WoW pacing was, to be fair, up to maybe Wrath of the Lich King a lot faster than I would argue Final Fantasy 14. And yet the switchover was so massive that, I mean, FF14 is the biggest MMO right now, hands down, without a doubt. It's massive. I mean, all the in July, all the big Twitch streamers.
Like what, the number one WoW streamer moved on to Final Fantasy 14. I'm like, yo, it's over.
Yeah. It's literally over. Like, WoW is gone. It's dead now. It's gone. It's a dead game. You don't even have to talk about it. And all the big Twitch streamers of July were streaming basically FF14, right? Or most of them, right? And so it's so crazy, like this sudden wave. And for people like you guys who've been playing FF14 for fucking like years, it must be quite interesting seeing this sudden interest. And then being like, I don't know, for me, if I was you, like Ray and Ash, like who have played for FF since the start, it'd be like, welcome newbies. We are the gods of this land. Come.
Dude, like, I've been playing this game since launch, man. Like August 13. Was it August 13, like 2013 or something like that?
Exactly. It's like, come, we are the kami's. Come learn mechanics from us. Come, my children.
From my standpoint, I feel like it's really refreshing seeing it's like I like seeing the amount of people coming in to try a game that I enjoy. That's my viewpoint on it as well. It's just like,
the thing is, like, it's free, so.
It's free. It's free up to
You mean
like, have you heard of the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy 14? We have to say it once at least, right?
Have you heard of the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy that is free? What is it? That is free to level 60 or something like that?
Yeah, with the award-winning Heavensward expansion, you know, like, okay,
with more restrictions in playing time.
It's good though. It is a good game. I will say that. As much as I whinge about it, and I do that a lot. Let's be honest. I complain about FF14 so much.
I mean, you went from like what Final Fantasy 14 and like I want to bone your Stola now.
Oh, bro, for people who haven't played Final Fantasy 14, they won't understand this, but literally, Y'shtola is the reason I'm still playing it, and they will get it the minute they start, because oh my god, talk about waifus, man! Like, come on, talk about why Y'shtola is up there. It's up there. I can't say the other one because I'll probably go to jail, but we know who I'm talking about.
I mean, yeah, same.
Well, is she? Well, the argument here is it technically still gel material if she's like 3,000 years old because elves live forever?
I mean,
because she looks like a child.
There is a thing in Japan called legal lolly, so.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that we'll say that for your next guest episode, eh?
Is it like get Ash arrested the next episode?
Yeah. Let's get as much evidence for the FBI as possible on it.
That'll be the title.
The title about what's your favorite hentai tag? Lollies? Ash likes lolly tag.
I'm gonna be straight up here and say like it's NTR.
Really? You kidding? No, you're serious?
Nah, I'm just kidding.
Okay. NTR is so hard to read for me. You know what? Let's say, we try to usually end this in the last in at least 2 hours. So we got about 20 minutes or so, right? I want to talk about that. Hentai is almost mainstream now. Have you guys found that? It's like, haha, we all talk about it. Back then, it was so ostracized. It was like, what's wrong with you? You like, are you like broken in the head to want to watch like animated, porn? Let's call it animated porn.
Yeah.
But like nowadays, it's mainstream as hell. It's so mainstream, and it's so. I find it so weird.
I mean, have you seen redo of Healer?
No.
I've heard about it.
What's this?
Yeah, like it's an isekai anime where like guy gets like abused in like one world and he goes back into the past with all his knowledge and then like he kind of like get revenge on the people who bullied him by way of like sex and stuff like that. It's pretty wild.
It's pretty wild. Yeah, I heard it's pretty
Wow, that's insane.
And they get like standard like top name VAs to do all the stuff, which is pretty impressive, honestly.
Well, it's crazy because like if you look on YouTube or any kind of mainstream social media, it's like there was a trend not long ago about like my favorite hentai tags, or like hentai tag tier list and all this shit. I mean, tier list is always going to be a thing nowadays, right? It's a trend thing, right? But any tuber really, or any kind of a big name person who watches anime, you'll probably be able to find a tag list or tag tier list on their thing. And I find it so strange. It's like you can talk about that, but you don't really see it on the flip side of things. What is your favorite tag on Pornhub? Right? I've never seen a video about that. Maybe there is.
Oh, absolutely not. Not that I've seen it, at least.
It'll be like the top 10 list, but then there won't be like someone's personal stuff, right?
Right? Why is that? Why is it so like suddenly talked about? Like it's almost like, oh, haha, I watch hentai, great, like he XD kind of moment, man. Like what?
I mean, even like Samuel L. Jackson says it. So.
Yeah. I remember that.
Samuel Jackson is my hero. I love that guy, man. He's
That's
so
a legend.
boss. He's so boss. I mean, Afro Samurai, come on. Like,
yeah.
It's just oh my gosh, he's just so great. He's just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's just do Afro Samurai. I'm a fucking samurai. Like, just great. One of the best VAs, I would argue, in anime history, Samuel L. Jackson. But yeah, going back to it's so mainstream. It's so talked about. Like favorite tags. We all have favorite tags, kind of thing, right? But it's like I would never have thought, even 5-10 years ago, that we'd be like, hey Ray, what's your favorite tag? Or on a podcast, for example, or like a video or whatever. Which, by the way, putting it out there, like there's some tags that are so slept on that I'm like, bro, come on. There's some good tags out there.
They could be a whole episode for ourselves later on.
Yeah, it can be. You look at this, the sites like Hentai Massive. You talk about Faku. Faku, is that how you pronounce it? Faku, whatever. It's subscription only now. Bro, it used to be free.
Can you imagine like that site becoming like subscription based? Like holy shit.
No, I would never have thought that would happen, and it has, and it's so weird. Like, what is this world we're in, man? This is the isekai.
Like, really the real isekai. Like,
we must have died and come into some
isekai.
We probably died during COVID and came into some weird ass world where like the geek culture we like is mainstream, which kind of low key annoys me because like not to be the hipster used to be a thing we used to love, but it is what it is. So yeah, on that note of hentai text, which we'll say for a future episode, I do think we should probably start to wrap up this podcast. I want to thank Ash. We rather want to thank Ash for taking the time out of his very busy schedule.
No, I'm not. I'm just blazing at home playing video games, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so busy schedule of video games.
Thank you for taking the time to come on.
I mean, thank you for having me. I enjoy, listening to podcasts, doing podcasts.
No, it's we love have obviously talking about this, and to us it's not even a podcast. It's just us literally talking about what we love.
Rambling shit and just shitting on
rambling and guy. We should just call it Gaia's rants again about something mainstream and hates on everything else.
That should be a tag.
And then name some weird niche anime that's really, let's be honest, probably not that good. That's Gaia's the opinion of Gaia's. But thank you for coming on taking the time to come on this podcast. Thank you for all our listeners. I think we're on like 20 now, Raymond, which is awesome. I never thought 20 people would listen to us. I didn't even think like 5 people would listen to us, to be honest. because it's just like we said, rants. If you enjoyed this guest episode, please let us know. We're gonna have a lot more. We definitely want Ash back on the show. We want
definitely.
To
if you want to call me back, I'll come again.
Oh man, we have so much to talk about. So much, Ash. We didn't even scratch the surface.
Yeah, we can make an entire episode just shitting on Ghibli. So.
Oh my god, yes. Let's book that in right now.
We'll lock that and we'll plan a date.
We're coming for you, Mr. Hayao.
I'm like, sorry, Hayao-san. Like your ass is ours.
I mean, let's not get into this. We have to wrap it up. So now that we truly are into the swing of things, hopefully, Tilak's hemorrhoids will come down by the next episode so that he'll be on. Please share Shumimasen with your friends, with your family, with anyone really. Share it on your pages, whatever it is, with your FF14 clans. I know Raymond actually does that. Like, no shit, Raymond shares it with his free company. So do that. Share us wherever you can, please. Remember to follow us on socials, which Raymond will now go over.
So if you definitely follow on our socials, we keep our Twitter updated with our newest episodes and when we're coming out. That's twitter.com/shumimasenpod. We'll have our links to our YouTube channel there, where you can find us on YouTube. We can see us on Spotify. If you look up the Shumimasen, it should come up on there for sure. Give us a like, give us a follow. And we'll keep you updated on everything.
Yeah, and I think probably the most active one is actually our Facebook page, which is surprising because I never use Facebook much until now. So yeah, people actually follow us on Facebook quite a bit more. We do not interact, but a lot more people like notice it. We also have Google Podcasts. We are on Google Podcasts as well. We can't seem to get it working on Apple Podcasts, so sorry for the iTunes listeners. I guess, but yeah. So any ending notes for our listeners, everyone?
No, just thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us for another episode. We'll be churning out more episodes of this, and we'll get better and better. As we mentioned before, maybe sometime in the future, we might even get some video to our podcast. That will be a treat.
I mean, I can't wait to get Tilak and Ashpo in a room. Tilak with his Till, I'm calling you out right now, if you're listening, your normie as shit taste of anime versus me.
Oh man, I'm gonna call him out so much for
so that's like me hating on you, Tilak, and then there's Ashpo, who I would argue is probably another level up in terms of niche
very
anime.
Cultured.
So we're very cultured, Tid. So we're coming after you and your AOT bullshit and your Kirito God bullshit, calling you out right now. When we get Ash back on the show, and if your hemorrhoids have healed, it's over, man. We're going hit to hit. We're pointing out every reason why all your anime taste is shit, and Raymond would just be stuck in the middle as always. Raymond would be the guy who's in the corner being like, wait, why are we not talking about Bakemonogatari? That shit's good, right?
Where's my Bakemonogatari fans? Come on.
Why do we not talk about that kind of thing? And then me and Ash would be like, nah, everything you guys say is wrong. And just all the hot takes. So I'm very excited for future episodes. I can't wait to have Ash back on. I can't wait to have Max on for probably the next guest episode. Or maybe both of them. I mean, Max and Ash both very much single player kind of gaming, whereas me, Raymond, we dip into both. So, very different even in terms of gaming. So can't wait to have you guys back on. But for now, we will have to sign off. So thank you for listening once again, and goodbye.